Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about loading geography data into SingleStore. Geography data includes points, paths, and polygons that identify geographic locations. SingleStore natively supports WKT format data. WKT, or well-known text, is a representation of geographic boundaries and points. I want to load country data into SingleStore. Natural Earth has a public domain dataset that includes country boundaries. This is great, but as I download it, I notice that these country boundaries are a shapefile, not a WKT file. I'll use this site to convert the shapefile into a WKT file. I could use any geography tool, but this tool works really well. Now I have a CSV file. Here's the CSV file that includes all of the polygons together with other data related to each country. As I cruise through this file, I notice that most of them are polygons, but some of them are multi-polygons that SingleStore doesn't support. We can tell that here is the first polygon, and here's the next polygon. Let's grab this multi-polygon set, and we'll visualize what it is. Here's the site where we can paste a polygon and map it. We see in this case, this country has 3 polygons in it. Okay, well we can come back into our CSV file and just duplicate it. We'll grab each polygon and duplicate the other data in the row. Now this video is definitely not talking about database normalization, though we could definitely create a polygons table that has a foreign key back to the countries table if we chose to do so. With each multi-polygon separated, we now have a polygon here that represents Fiji, and a second polygon, and a third polygon, all working on the country Fiji. That's great. Like any data science job, our biggest task was doing data cleansing. Now that we have the data in WKT format in this CSV, we can start to load that data into SingleStore. Here's my SingleStore cluster. Let's create a database called Maps. I'll use that database. Now let's create a table called Countries that includes all of the details associated with this country. The important part here is this boundary field that is of type geography. That's where I'll load the polygons. Next up, let's load the data from this file. Now the interesting thing is there's a lot of columns here in this dataset that I don't need. But I can come here into the docs and note that if I put an @ sign, then I'll actually get that column ignored. So I'll ignore all of the columns that I don't need and only pull in the columns that I do need. I'm noting that my fields are terminated by commas and optionally enclosed by quotes to make sure that commas in my data, for example in my polygon data, doesn't become a different field. We're not going to terminate here in the middle of a polygon. We'll wait until we get to the end quote right here, and that will be the entire polygon dataset. Great, so it's optionally enclosed by double quotes, terminated by carriage returns, and we'll ignore the first line, that data header line. I'm going to hit Control Enter, and I've loaded my data into place. Now let's select some data. I can see all of my countries are in place, together with the geography data in this polygon column. I'm now ready to start working with geospatial data. I can calculate areas, distance, content within a certain distance, intersections, contains. You can get started with the geospatial functions in SingleStore today. Thanks for watching.